Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Gosu Tekken TV, the show where you improve your game by learning from the best in the world. And today, once again, I have Joey Fury with us. Hi, Joey.
Once again, hello.
Yeah,
Thanks for
lo
having me.
long time no see, man.
Yeah.
Now we're actually recording these back to back, so maybe for you it's been a week, but for us, we're on a roll here. So yeah, so the idea here is that we're gonna do some match analysis, and
We're gonna try.
yeah, we're gonna try see if
On
we
the fly.
yeah exactly. And Joey, you got to choose the video, so we
Yeah, this is one that I was really interested in because when I watched it um, at Evo, I wasn't really paying attention to what's happening. It's just so hyped. I just wanted Majin to win so bad. So it's gonna be Lil Majin versus JDCR.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to maybe seeing more of the details of what happened right here.
I think this is a favorite video for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Especially,
of
I
course.
know, especially one guy, Lil Margin. I'm guessing.
What a hero. What an absolute hero,
Yeah,
man.
that was just so cool. That was so cool. So let's stop talking about the match and let's get into it. Oh, there we go. Okay.
See what we can break down. I mean, with Lil Majin, he has a very interesting neutral game. The way he scores a lot of counter hits with the shove, the way he substitutes his backdash in a lot of situations with the Jaguar step back, and his ability to just make you want to duck so bad because of his terrifying throw game.
Yeah.
But then you get forward threed or hop kicked or crouch dash 1+2. His mix ups are amazing. So
Yeah, and remember that this is in slow motion. It's not your eyes that are wrong.
slow down a little bit.
Yeah. So and also remember, Joey, that I'm not as good as you, so bear with me here. But I'll do my best here.
I'm doing my best as well.
Yeah,
Kind of just trying to get a feel. Oh my god.
this is kind of cool because now you can kind of see why he was hit. Like he was doing Shining Wizard, for instance.
Right. Got kept out with 3+4 by Shining Wizard. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And see, JDCR, like, he rarely busts that move out anymore. But I've been noticing him bring it back a little bit. Keep out 3+4.
Hmm. He could, if he did it, he could get air thrown, right? Because
I think so. But right there, the active hitbox caught him coming in.
yeah. When I was talking with JDCR about Little Margin, he was saying that he was focusing on. Like, he was saying that Little Margin was really, really good with down forward too. That was like,
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I've noticed that when I play him as well. Um, he confirms it. Counter hit confirms it very well. Um, so he very rarely gets it ducked. He just kind of confirms, gets the knockdown.
yeah.
That's a very fast mid.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put us both on screen and do this.
Ah,
So,
perfect.
see, I'm just gonna put us somewhere where people can see us over there. Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah. For me, it's like this is hard. Like, how do you analyze this?
Um, Usually something like this, I would watch it like 3, 4 times and try to figure out what the key moments are. That was kind of a key moment right there that he blocked that Corsica forward 3, and he could have killed him while standing 2-2. I noticed a lot of blocks on lows. Majin blocked like maybe between 4 and 6 down twos in that match. So that's telling that he understands the timing, but he's not committed fully to getting the low parry.
Right.
And he also missed a few punishes on it. So like seeing that first match is very dominant, but a lot of the deciding factors of the round, I think, were very small timing things, like him coming in for the Shining Wizard and getting clipped by the 3+4. A slight timing adjustment, like you said, he might have gotten thrown out of that.
Yeah.
Um, slight timing adjustment, he might be getting low parries for all of those down twos instead of blocks.
Right.
So I wonder what he's thinking about. Probably just I need to parry these down twos and adjust my timing to get more counter hits.
Right. Right. Let's fast forward this. Oh.
We'll see what he does. Oh, the Macho Man.
Is that an input mistake?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. JDCR just mauling him towards the wall. So there we go. The down 2-1. And that's a really good tool for getting these counter hits that we're talking about. He can stay in close and he'll counter hit that down 2 all day.
Yeah. I was so surprised that this throw went in. That is something I was talking with Nin about a lot. That he's very focused on doing throws as counter options. So
counter hit throws.
Yeah, so even if
they're hard to break.
Yeah, and people can accidentally press the wrong button because you're throwing them right when they're pressing and that kind of stuff, you know.
Oh man, the party. So the first thing you saw an instance of is, yeah, there it is again. I was just about to mention that's the second time that's happened. He's forcing JDCR to duck with this kind of forward shimmy movement, and it's really intimidating JDCR, thinking he's about to be thrown. And you're going to see a lot more of this, the first instance of it. But in the last game on Forgotten Realm, there's a few key moments where that's going to happen. Just like domination with his movement.
Okay.
The thing that's so scary is the run up. Majin can do run up, muscle buster, shining wizard, or giant swing, and he can also do these forward threes that he's connecting a lot because JDCR keeps ducking.
Right.
It's a really terrifying mix-up.
He keeps getting a lot of counter it attacks like back one and the push.
Shove.
Yeah, the shove. And he's
So
like it feels like that's so good. Seeing it in slow motion is even better.
A handsome smile.
It kind of feels like JDCR doesn't want to duck the throws. He wants to attack him out of it.
Right, that's a good observation because twice he tried to duck it, and then it seemed like you said his solution was try to attack him out of it. And there's more of it. You see this forward dash. You can kind of sense the anxiety. Like there's a mix-up happening, even though he's just tapping forward.
Right.
And there's another example. He crouch dashed at him, and JDCR just tried to do keep out. He's working very hard to keep him out because he doesn't want to deal with these throw mix-ups.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just free reign for counter hits, apparently.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, he just comes in, right? Like.
See that forward.
Yeah.
Very dominant round.
So what would you do if you were JDCR here? Like, how would you solve this? What's the theory, at least?
Oh, this just looks unbearable. Probably play faster. Stop with the down twos and just take the down back fours and try to be more irritating because he's going for the big stuff, right? He's going for like sidestep down forward twos, keep out down forward two. Down two is pretty slow when a king player is throwing down forward twos at you. But interestingly, no, I think he just tried to do down back four, and I think he got counter hit anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to say when you're getting outplayed like that. There's another one. I think he went for down two right there and got counter hit. So I think he's playing a bit too slow.
Yeah.
In terms of his move selection.
So make it more compact, like more.
That's what I would attempt, at least.
Yeah.
And you can see a little bit of that. Maybe some down forward fours coming.
It's interesting too, because like Lil Majin isn't using a single hop kick here. Like he doesn't need to.
And it's just such a deep arsenal of tools right there. He did the crouch dash, and it looked like he was going to go for a mix-up, and then he did ultimate tackle. He's representing a lot of different options, so it's very hard to adapt to any of this.
Yeah.
And this, it looked like it was going to be all over right here.
Yeah, I remember Aris here.
There's more of that forward, 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 forward into the mix-up. He went for the forward 3. JDCR didn't bite that time, but he's really controlling the pace so well.
Let's just give some respect to JDCR for this comeback, because this is just ridiculous, right? I mean, look at this. How did he win this round?
Oh, man. Caught him swinging.
Yeah.
And then something crazy is going to happen. The rage drive is going to like tear right through the jab.
Yeah, and the time, it's
Oh,
it's crazy.
Yeah, incredible comeback. Aha. Okay, so JDCR finally guessed right. More with his spacing with the backdash. He caught him out of that throw. Great duck. Great duck. So I think it's just Majin getting a little antsy. He changed the pace a lot there. He got counter hit a lot, which we haven't seen happen since the first game.
Right.
The Jaguar step, there it is, the back step.
I think Lil Majin is showing so much patience. It's like it's really, his defense is really good, I think.
He's got the perfect answers to so much of what JDCR is doing. I kept talking about that forward, 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 forward offense starter right there that you see. He's doing mix-ups out of. JDCR actually tried to sidewalk while he was doing that. He reset the X's quickly and hit him out with a down forward 1. It's like his movement is fine-tuned to stop the way JDCR is trying to defend. It's incredible.
Yeah, man, that was a great match. Cool.
What a beast!
Yeah, that's
all-American hero.
It's like, I think you have to kind of watch that video several times to just start to kind of understand like all the layers and stuff. But
yeah, I think it's just such a cool, interesting interaction of the way those guys play, like their neutral game. JDCR is known to, he has like this mauling mode where he's just like all in while running 2s and jabs and down 2s. But then he's also got this mode where he's hanging back, he's backdashing, he's fuzzy guarding lows that you try to come in with, he's sidewalking all of your approaches. And when he tried to do that, the way Majin applied neutral, it just didn't work. The way he did this, like forward, 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 into a whole arsenal of throw mix-ups, or the crouch dash while standing 1+2, or the forward 3, the down forward 1. He's representing all of these options out of the forward, forward, realigns JDCR sidewalking.
Yeah.
That's like the patented Saint strategy, the wave dash.
Yeah.
But Majin does it in a different way because he can generate all of those different throw mix-ups and interesting king tools. He can do the forward and then a shove. There's just so much variety. I think it was too hard to adapt to.
Yeah.
Like he played it perfectly.
So how do you, when you play Lil Majin, how does that go, and how do you prepare for that, and what's your philosophy?
The thing is,
you can tell us what you want to tell us here. You don't want to give away the secrets.
It's always really scary, and the way Majin plays against Jack is not only will he represent that forward option, but he represents a lot of the Jaguar step back. So there's this push and pull that you're always trying to read. I think Jack kind of gets not like a get out of jail free, but he can simplify the mix-up of what Majin's doing with the forward dash a little bit, because Jack has full crouch down back 1, which you can avoid all of those throws, and full crouch down back 1's really quick. So him trying to come in with like the forward 3, it's going to be hard for him to get you. You're going to just poke him a lot. So hop kick is more of a factor, I think, against Jack. that matchup is a lot of annoying with the full crouch down back one and trying to bait the hop kick, and trying not to get hit by that down forward two that he's always doing. So the matchup plays out a little bit differently, but the scariness of his neutral game is always there. And I've felt what JDCR has experienced, where he dashes at you and you're like, should I duck? Should I attack? Should I try to play the roulette that is guessing these throw mix-ups? Like it freezes you up. And I identified a lot with the anxiety of fighting that.
You know, in my mind, JDCR is the guy that can break any throw, like no problem, you know. But in this match,
it's king.
yeah,
but it's king though.
Yeah, and it's also what you're talking about, this neutral game, like where he starts putting like weird delays and stuff like that. Maybe that's kind of where the perfect defense starts like breaking down. It starts becoming possible to break all the throws when there's weird
so
timings and stuff.
I suppose, yeah, like theoretically you could let him come in at you and just stand there like a wall, and if you could break every throw, then great. But the thing is, the threat of those multi throws, I mean, they're essentially a true 50-50. You've got to guess one or two. In a tournament situation, distinguishing between giant swing, shining wizard, and muscle buster consistently, it's possible. It's extremely hard. You know, under that kind of duress, you're not going to be able to do it consistently. Yeah, it's like you said, the perfect defense is only going to hold up so long when the opponent just truly and absolutely forces you to be making guesses. There's no like optimization of movement or backdash where you can just get away. You know, you have to guess at some point. And Majin put the pressure on in a way where JDCR is consistently guessing wrong.
Yeah. So I'm kind of trying to think here as well what people would really like to hear from you, you know, because I'm thinking people that are watching this are looking at are at different levels, you know. A lot of people are beginners, a lot of people are like intermediate, and a few are experts, of course. So how about we take a few minutes and just try to like help beginners, like what kind of advice would you give like the people that are kind of starting out with Tekken 7 and like you know, maybe some like practical technical advice, like what would you how can you approach this game, you know?
Practical technical advice. So it's hard to be super general because even just the idea of being a beginner, such a broad range of skill levels and abilities. I think in that category could be people this is their first fighting game.
Yeah.
Would be people who really understand the mechanics of other fighting games. So it's hard to.
So let's kind of paint up a scenario.
Let's narrow it down maybe a little bit.
Yeah. So let's imagine people are like at green rank on playing online, but they can't like get past that. They're just like stuck at a Marauder or something like that. And maybe it's because earlier they've been able to progress by just doing the same stuff over and over again.
Right.
And then they kind of reach this limit where the opponent is adapting, and now it's just like you have to adapt to stuff that you've never seen. Like what's the best way to kind of approach this? Is it to go into practice mode? Is it to kind of like take notice of what you're losing towards, or what would you do, you know?
My opinion on this, I think around that level in ranked, at least with my experiences of what it's like in the United States, like the green ranks, people will come up to that rank, and some might overachieve and shoot up higher. They might get up, I think it's like the orange ranks. But the basis of people's climb through those ranks, the vast majority of the time, it's entirely based on their offensive strategies. So everybody's going to come to the game, they're going to pick their character. Maybe someone will pick Eddie, maybe someone will pick Paul, and they're going to come up and they're going to develop these offensive strategies. And some of them might be not so good, but against those calibers of players, they're extremely effective. Like, I don't know, just some nonsense, like down 1-2 with Paul versus down 1-4-2. Like some not so good mix up, and they just run it, and like boom, I'm to the top of green ranks. So everybody's going to come up and they're going to peak at the limit of their offensive effectiveness against those players. And eventually a limit is going to be hit. You're going to hit the ceiling until you realize that you will never break past it until you acquire good defense. Defense is where the limit, where the ceiling comes in. Mm-hmm. So the only way to break past it is to understand that, to focus on defense specifically, I think. Of course, you have to understand whether your offensive strategies can be countered by people with good defense. Like, were my offensive strategies legit, or were they just killing people that didn't really know how to play that well?
Like gimmicks.
Right. Yeah. Or just some string that nobody in these ranks knows how to punish.
Yeah.
And you see it a lot, these people that hit this like hard barrier. They're like, it's like Vanquisher with 10,000 games, 10,000 wins or something, or 20,000 games. And it's because they're not focusing on defense. And the way to do that for me has always been trying to form this like encyclopedic knowledge about what's punishable in the game and how to defend things. And defensive training mode is the way to do that in practice. Breaking up the cast, you can start with the most common characters that you encounter. You can start with characters that you struggle with personally, but it's really about breaking down that move list. My buddy Spirojin, he always tried to break it into categories. Standing punishable moves, while standing punishable moves, and strings that can be ducked. Right. And you break it in those three categories and just tackle the whole move list like that. And that's the foundation. Of course, once you do all that, you have to find the more subtle things. What moves can be sidestepped. Maybe your character can escape some weird situation. Like, I've been messing with Steve a lot. If you like, he blocks Elisa Rage Drive and you just mash 4, the weave to the right, you can escape like almost everything except for like one of her moves. So like subtle things like that, but you have to build the foundation of block punishment. So important. And if you don't put in that time, then you are destined to hit that ceiling, the ceiling of defense, where you'll never make it past. So in simplest terms, the answer is practice mode. Definitely.
Yeah. And a lot of people are, because in the group I run, people are asking a lot about sidestep, and that's so hard to kind of like teach someone, like how do you teach someone how to sidestep? And what would be your advice for people that are like asking you, like, how do you sidestep? How do you actually learn how to sidestep properly in this game?
It's almost still a challenge for me sometimes, because I feel like I was taught the wrong way, or just never taught. So I really have to constantly remind myself what the process is, and that is that it's done with intent. It's done with intention to sidestep a specific thing, or limit maybe a group of comeback mechanics based on the current state of the life bars. Like, if he wants to get back in this match, he's going to have to hit me with move X, which is like a big launcher, and it has no tracking this way. So let me do quick moves, and after they get blocked, I'll move that way to ensure that I don't get hit. I think a lot of people, it's been like such a pet peeve of mine, these lists that are like, against this character, sidewalk left.
All right, yeah.
And
it's too broad, it's too general.
It doesn't really teach you anything, because people, they go round 1 fight, and
Safe
they
is
start
left.
sidewalking left. And like, what are you trying to avoid? Do you even know? And
Yeah,
your opponent's going to see you walking left, and they're going to run at you, and they're going to hit you,
yeah,
because there needs to be some sort of uh, initiated situation
yeah,
where you're going to sidestep or sidewalk first. If you just do it, you're not really being that evasive,
yeah.
because
I mean,
you have,
when you mention it, it's kind of like if we had lists that said against this character you stand up, against this character you crouch, like.
yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that. Because, right, that's like the perfect example, because it's about timing. It's about understanding when your opponent's going to attack. If you're just sidewalking in the space, um, your opponents, you have no read on their timing. You don't know when they're going to swing at you, and so you're very easy to hit. So I think opening up this idea of timing is the secret. Um, you're kind of looking for a situation that sparks this, just this thing in your mind that goes, all right, my opponent's going to attack now because this situation just happened, and I think I can sidestep them. Or I've just got them to block move X. I think they're going to retaliate right away, or I think they're going to retaliate not right away, a little bit after. It's all about timing, I think, with sidestepping. There's definitely um, times where you're just moving around, you're backdashing, and just for positioning, you decide to move and you create a whiff,
Yeah.
and that's great. Um, Moving around the screen is good. You can create whiffs like that. But try to get away from this idea of like, I'm fighting this character, let's just go.
Yeah.
And I catch myself doing this all the time. Like I start a matchup against a Mishima,
Just go left.
just go left, just go
Just go
left, just go left, without any idea of when they're going to attack me.
Yeah.
So that's my best advice, I guess. It's definitely complicated to try to explain or teach. It's very instinctual.
I think just hearing you speak, what I really hear is that to start playing more consciously, just try to do things
Right.
for a reason and not just for the hell of it, you know.
Right. The paradox is that when you start getting really good, like I'm sure this happens for JDCR all the time. He's just moving around the screen and he sidewalks and he evades something and he launches it, and he's probably like, I wasn't trying to avoid that
Yeah,
move, or
it's just
like
instinctual.
he doesn't think about it,
Yeah,
but he is thinking about it
yeah,
because he's thought about it so many times that it's become very natural. He's limiting the opponent's options with his sidewalk without it being like this super convoluted process. Like, what am I trying to limit? What am I trying to limit?
yeah,
And I think that's where people get it confused. They see how natural it is that the pros are evading things,
yeah,
and they think, just go, just move
yeah,
around and just
exactly.
move this way. But there is a lot of intent to it. They've just mastered it.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of like comparing it to like any other sport as well. Like just because the athlete is very doing it very naturally, it doesn't mean that you can do it naturally at once. You know,
Right.
this athlete has been practicing this like very consciously and very methodically and systematically for a long time before the competition. But then in the competition, it's just like second
Yes.
nature, you know. But when he's not in the competition, then he's like really thinking about it, I think.
They're exactly these athletes and sports psychologists. They talk about levels of mastery, and a distinction that there's conscious mastery and there is subconscious mastery. And it's not exactly clear if you have to go through one to reach the other,
Yeah,
if you 100% have to go through conscious mastery to reach subconscious. It seems that way a lot of the time. I think, yeah, you're building up this skill slowly, and you really have to think about it before you can reach the point where it's totally natural.
yeah. Okay, man. Awesome. Really nice chat. Very interesting doing the match analysis and just talking a
Yeah, it
bit
was
about
fun.
this as well. Cool. And follow Joey on Twitter if you haven't already. Joey
Thanks for the
underscore
plug.
Fury. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
And Yeah, man. Let's do another episode sometime if you're up for
I
it.
would love to.
Yeah.
Whenever you want, man.
Cool. Awesome.
I'm always down.
Awesome. Any last words?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye bye.